Hey, my ACTIVZ family, how you doing today? Welcome to ACTIVZ School. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for spending some of your precious time here on this Saturday morning with us. And hopefully you're going to learn some great stuff that's going to be great for your business, for your personal life. And let's get started. All right, so today what I want to go over is questions, objections, and closing the deal. All right, well, and I want to get some definitions out of the way first. Okay, so a couple of things. Skeptical and cynical, all right? Two different things, right? Skeptics, okay, I mean, actually, I was skeptical. I'm skeptical of a lot of things. I mean, most people, I think, naturally are, okay? But actually, a person who's skeptical is actually like a closet supporter, okay? I mean, they really want to believe, but they need your help, right? Cynics, on the other hand, they're just pretty much always negative. They want to be negative, right? It's like arguing with a brick wall, okay? Don't waste your time with people who are cynical, okay? Skeptical is fine. Cynical is what you don't want to waste your time with, okay? Now, next, are you persuading someone or are you trying to convince them? There's actually a difference. Now, that difference is persuading is trying to get someone to do something that they want to do for their benefit, okay? Convincing is when you're trying to get someone to do something that they really don't want to do for your benefit. You see the difference? Okay, persuading, again, trying to get someone to do something that they want to do, and it's for their benefit. You see, the focus is on them. Convincing is they really don't want to do it, and you're really trying to do it for your benefit, right? So, obviously, what do we want to do? We want to persuade people, not convince them. So we don't want to waste our time with cynical people, and we don't want to waste our time convincing people. All right, now, a little perspective. All right, I want you to go for no. There's actually a book called Go for No, okay? Now, if you expect no, then you'll never be disappointed, will you, right? And besides, it is completely unrealistic to expect most people to join your business or to buy from you. It doesn't happen in any other business. So why would ACTIVZ be any different? All right. The difference is that successful people don't let no get to them personally. All right. No is just a stepping stone to yes. All right. So have some definitions down and we have our perspective going into this. All right. Now, where do we want to start our journey? Well, we can't just jump into telling you how to answer questions or objections, right? Why is that? Because you have to work on yourself. You have to have posture, right? So let me ask you something. Do questions or objections affect you? Do they, get you angry? Do they get you, anxious? What is that feeling when somebody poses a question or an objection? All right? Well, if you're having feelings that are kind of welling up in you, negative feelings, right, then, you can rate your posture by how much questions and objections are affecting you. And why? Why would they affect you? Well, it comes down to belief, right? You have to have belief, right? In where? You have to have belief in yourself. You have to have belief in the company. And you have to have belief in the products. So rate yourself in these areas. Yourself, company, and products. Okay? How do you do? How do you rank? Right? If you don't have unshakable belief in all three of these areas, then you're going to be shaken, right, by questions and objections. So we have to work on that, right? You have to go into this, with the right posture. So, have belief. Like I said, that's so rock solid that if somebody confronted you on it, you would be actually confused, when somebody did that. Okay, think about something that you have unshakable belief in, all right? Anything, right? That you love your kids or your spouse, or you're great at math or cooking, okay? Or the sky is blue, right? Let's just take anything that you have unshakable belief in. If somebody confronted you and says, you know what, I don't think you love your husband, you would just be like, you would just completely blow it off, right? You just wouldn't even, like, I don't even know why you're saying that. Okay, because you have unshakable belief in that, right? So here's the thing. Your prospect needs belief too, right? So first is have your belief, okay? So you can be unshaken. Now, your prospect needs that same thing. They need to believe before they'll take that step. So all you're doing is getting them, passing that belief on. So what do you have? You have to have your own belief first, because you can't pass it on if you don't have it, okay? So you work on your belief, your posture first. Now, what do we do next? Now we've got to work on them. What do they need? They need belief in themselves. They need belief in the company. They need belief in the products, okay? You know, themselves, that comes down to when they're going to be a distributor, right? If they're just going to be a customer, I don't know how much they need to believe in themselves to take the products. But, so, same journey, right? Their questions are going to center around the areas that they need belief on. So all you're doing is the same thing you had to do, the same thing your journey had. You know, your journey may have been small, it might have been short, it might have been long, who knows, you know. But at some point in time, you didn't know about ACTIVZ, you didn't take our products, and now you do. I mean, there was probably a transition where you're like, okay, you know, I need to know what this is so I can believe all these things with it, all right? So walk them down that path. That's what you're doing. You're getting them to believe those three things, okay? What happens a lot of time is we forget, right, that there was a time before ACTIVZ. You know, a lot of people are so excited and they love the products and they love the company and they just love, you know, they love everything they're doing that they expect now the people to just, you know, jump on. Whereas, you know, you probably didn't have that process, right? You probably had, you know, a journey yourself. So you can't expect them to be any different, okay? So, answering questions. Simple. We want to point to information or our upline as much as possible. We want to keep it simple. Okay? Why? You know what? People like to dump stuff, especially because we have great products and so much scientific research, right? It's like, you know, here's this big, here's 10,000 pages, right? Listen, if you recommend a restaurant, do you sit there and, you know, tell them the whole menu? Or just maybe, you know, tell them what you had or, you know, maybe who you were with had. And then maybe, you know, send them a link to the whole menu, right? If you recommend a movie, do you know, go through a list of, well, here's all the actors, and here's the directors, and here's the people who cater the food, right? No, okay? So it's no different, all right? You're going to give them that little teaser and then fill in with other tools, right? So if we have product questions, we always want to start with what? Testimonials, right? Now, if you have a personal testimonial, awesome, always the best. But guess what? You can use other people's testimonials. That's why it's so important to be on these calls and to talk to other people and learn their stories. The more stories you accumulate, okay, the more you'll be able to share about different products, you know, different experiences in both the business and the products, okay? It is absolutely fine to tell somebody else's story, especially when it comes to health and nutrition. Our bodies are different. We have all kinds of different experiences. We have all kinds of different things that we struggle with. You can't have a personal experience with everything, okay? So learn other people's stories, okay? Or just our simple product data sheets, okay? Again, don't give them the whole book if they don't need it or if they don't want it, right? But you know what? By the way, most people don't want to read all the scientific data. Right? We have 80,000 studies on butyric acid, right? Most people don't want to read one, okay? So, but there are people that do like the science, absolutely, okay? We have a great site, don't know if you know about it, but don't know if you use it, great stuff, epigeneticsinfo.com, and it has all the scientific studies, not all the scientific studies, but some pertinent scientific studies about our products and information about epigenetics, okay, that people can go to, and this is company sponsored, so this is the stuff, you know, it's safe to send them there, and it's plenty of info, right? You don't need 10,000 articles, right? 5 will do, right? And you know what? Here's the thing. If you're not a doctor or some type of medical professional or nutritional professional, if you're regurgitating science, a lot of times it's just going to backfire, right? You know, you may say something wrong, or, you know, just you go through, you've overloaded. It's just very difficult for people to give that. Again, if you're not, a professional talking to a professional. And it doesn't matter because most people don't want that anyway. All right. And here's the thing. We're trying to make it look simple. Now, why is that? When it comes to business questions, we're asking about the business, right? Again, point to information. We have videos, we have upline, or give very basic answers. Why is that? Because the easier you make it look, the better they're going to feel about themselves being able to do what you're doing. Remember belief? Belief in yourself? Trying to get the prospect to believe in themselves, right? Some of that is they may not believe that they can do this. So if you're making it look, complex and difficult, they're going to think, I can't do this. Okay, especially, this is actually one of the problems that, professionals have, is that when they're a well-respected business individual or a medical professional and they're talking to somebody who isn't, what they're automatically thinking is, well, of course you can do this, right? I mean, look at who you are. So you're knocking that belief in themselves. So you actually have to work extra hard when you're not talking to another professional to say, whoa, listen, I know a lot of stuff about this, but you don't need to. All you have to do is point to information, right? We have, people that can help you. We have tools that can help you, right? Simple, simple, simple. All right. And here's a great thing about questions. You can always just say you don't have the answer. Hey, you know what? That's a great question. I don't have the answer, but I can get it. All right. That's always your answer catch-all. All right. So questions should be very easy. Right? People have questions. That means they're interested. That's a good thing. Okay. So there really should be no reason that questions should bother you at all. All right. But let's be honest. I bet most of you don't mind questions. Questions show interest, right? What you're probably afraid of is objections. Right? So I really want to spend more time on this since this is where a lot of people fall off the rails. Right? How do we fix this? Like I said earlier, you've got to work on your belief. This is where you really need that unshakable belief. All right. So objections, they just want to offend you. You'd be like, no, I don't get it. All right. So, what are some common objections? Being ghosted. Right. I'll go over that if you don't know what that is. Right. Right. No time, no money. Right. Don't like sales. I can't sell. Right. It's a pyramid scheme. Right. I'm not like you. Right. I'm not techie. I don't like social media. Right? It's not the right time. I need to, ask my husband or wife. Right? I did it before and it failed. Right? I know somebody who did this and it failed. Right? My brother's neighbor's uncle's neighbor's dog did this and he failed. Right? Okay. Stop bothering me. Right? And of course, COVID. You got to go throw COVID in there. Right? So let's get to ghosting first, in case you don't know what that is. All right? Ghosting is actually a form of objection. Right? It really they're saying no by just completely avoiding the issue. So ghosting is when you send somebody, look at all the ways we have to communicate now. Text messenger, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram, email, whatever, and, right? No, nothing. Ghost, right? Now, it's somebody that you've had communication with at least once before, okay? This isn't like you've sent out a cold message to a complete stranger that you've never talked to and they didn't answer. That's not really ghosting. That's like, who are you, right? So, I don't recommend that, right? So this is somebody you've had at least one communication. You don't have to know them well, but you've had, one form of, communication, even with somebody that you didn't know that, saw something that you posted and they reached out to you, right? So this is what you want to do. After 24 or 48 hours that you haven't heard from them, okay, you send this message. Say, hey, I'm not sure if you saw my last message. And it would be good at, what a GIF is, attach a little funny picture, like, hello, maybe that Tom Hanks, one waving his hand if you've seen that, right? So, hey, not sure if you saw my last message, but if you could, just let me know either way, I would greatly appreciate it. That's it. Very simple, right? They may not have seen it, okay? Or you've taken the pressure off, like, hey, they can say no, all right? I'm not interested. But, you're just trying to get that feedback, all right? Now, say it was a voicemail, or you actually had an appointment, maybe a Zoom appointment, or, an in-person appointment. I don't know, they didn't show, right? So you can send them, give them a call, leave them a voicemail, or however, you contacted them before that, and say, hey, I get it. this may not be for you, but I don't want to waste your time or mine. So if you could just let me know either way, I would greatly appreciate it. All right. So very simple. You're just letting them, know that, hey, that you're not going away. And hey, just, it's fine. It's okay to say no. There's no, it doesn't have to be weird. All right. Now, if it's somebody that you're close to, this is a good friend or family member or whatever, okay, and they're ghosting you, right? Your relationship with them is more important than anything else. So it's a little twist on this one. Say, hey, I get it, right? This may not be for you. So there's that posture. You're just kind of taking it away. Right? More importantly, our relationship is more important than any of this. So if you could just let me know either way, I would greatly appreciate it. No worries either way. Right? You want to take that pressure off. You don't want to make it weird next time you see them. All right? Just, get it off the table. Okay? So, now let's get into some of the other objections. All right? Here's the grandmaster answer. Okay? Is feel, felt, found. You may have heard this before. All right? And this works best, in person or on the phone or something like that. If you're typing this out entirely, it can kind of be a little weird, right? And really, in that respect, you want to get people on the phone or on a Zoom or in person, if you can, as soon as possible. Get off just, this mass texting and emailing. It's a great way to connect with people and reach out and send information, but you start doing that back and forth too much, and it becomes a mess. It's very impersonal. Get on the phone, all right? Get on the phone and talk. It's so much easier just to talk to people, okay? People have lost that, right? Now, maybe, more people want to talk now because, they've been closed in or whatever. But, so, hey, listen, I know how you feel, right? I felt the same way. Right? Here's what I found. Right? Or maybe it was somebody else. Again, you don't need your own story. Listen, I know how you feel. In fact, my friend, or, this guy I know, John, he felt the same way. But actually what he found out was, right? So you're acknowledging that. You're acknowledging that objection. And you can say, listen, you know what? I get it, right? Never dismiss it. Just be like, oh, that's stupid. Why that? It's just, it's confrontational, right? So you just want to keep it positive, saying, yeah, listen, I get it. I totally feel. All right. So feel, felt, found. Right. Works for most things. Okay. For most things, that can always be your fallback. Of course, you don't want to make up a story, right? So again, having that that bunch of stories that you can tap into. Say, I get it. I know how you feel. Right. Now, if you are doing this, via text or email or message or whatever, okay, you can kind of start out like that, right? You don't want to do the whole thing. Hey, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. This is what I found out. And typing out this whole thing. But what you can do is just put that first part, right? They throw out an objection, and you go, I so know how you feel. All right, can we get on a call? I have a great story I want to share about that. Okay, or just those little voice, you can record a voice message like on text or messenger. That's a great way to communicate, by the way. Those will get listened to because they just don't get them a lot, right? And you'll be like, I wonder what that voice attachment is. Okay, so it's a great thing to record because you want to get that feeling across, right? Hey, listen, I know how you feel. All right, hey, would you mind if we just hopped on a call? Quick, 5 minutes. I got a great story about that I'd like to share with you. Okay, so here's another way, right? Say, hey, I don't like sales. I don't like network marketing. I don't like, MLM. I don't like nutrition. I don't know. You can ask them. That's a very generic statement, and a lot of times it's an excuse, right? They're just kind of throwing it out there to kind of get you away, right? So you can ask them. So just curious, like, which part don't you like, right? You don't like sales. I mean, which part don't you? You don't like talking to people, you don't like MLM. Like what part of MLM don't you like, right? I mean, there could be a myriad of things, right? And they may have a story behind that, right? Some of that is they may have encountered other network marketing people, right, that were annoying or pushy or whatever, okay? Or, they don't like nutrition. Like, what does that mean? You don't like nutrition. Actually, some people, not as many nowadays, right? But maybe some people they're just really not into nutrition, right? And that's fine, okay. But maybe what they really mean is I just don't know about it, right? So if they just come back with no, I don't like it, and it's probably an excuse, right? And you can take it away, right? Hey, maybe this isn't for you, all right? Or maybe this isn't the right time. Maybe, would you mind if I follow up later? Always, don't be afraid to take it away. There's that posture again, okay? Or they may have a specific answer, right? Now you can answer a more specific objection that they have, okay? Well, what don't you like about sales? Well, I just can't sell. Or, I don't like talking to people. Say, well, you know what? We have great training, right? So answer that objection. We have a solution. If they have a problem, you have a solution. Or you can always go back to feel, felt, found, right? Now, it's like, oh, I don't like talking to people. Oh, gosh, I know how you feel, right? I was so scared to talk to people. But then I found out, right, that really it's just sharing no different than I share information about a great restaurant or a great movie, right? Or what I found out was there's all kinds of tools. I don't like talking either. I don't have a lot of the answers. So what I do is I just pointed to all these great resources and all these other great people that help me out, okay? So try and get more into when they throw out those kind of generic statements, right? Or, I don't know how to, right? I don't know how to do social media. I'm not techie. Again, I can't sell, right? I don't. You know what? It's not a problem. If I could show you how to do X, do you see yourself doing this? I can't sell. Well, we have a great system. We have great training that'll show you step by step how to be successful. So if I could show you how that's not really a problem, do you see yourself doing this? Right? I don't know how to work social media. Guess what? You know what? You don't have to do social media. Or we have all kinds of people that know very simple ways of using social media, right? If I could show you how to use social media, do you see yourself doing this? Okay? So, now, when you hear this, no money, no time, no skills. I failed before, right? Especially around the no money and time thing, right? This is probably it's probably number 2 and 3, right? So just curious, how does that make you feel, right? I know I didn't have, I've been struggling for money for years, or, I was just always busy. I never had time for anything. But, I know how that made me feel. Go back to that feel, felt, found, right? But, how do you get that? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about having no money? How do you feel about having no time? Isn't that, really, do you have a plan to change that? I'm just curious, if I could show you a way that, could change that, would you be open? Right? If I could show you a way that, could help earn you some extra money, if I could show you a way that maybe could give you more flexibility in your time, right? Or if they failed before, right? Oh gosh, hey, it happens a lot, right? What do you feel was the reason? Were they another network marketing company? Maybe they had a bad experience. Maybe they had a bad upline. Maybe they had a bad company, right? Again, we're about them, right? We're asking about them, trying to get those questions, right? Trying to get those objections, right? Just pushing back into what's the question behind that objection, right? Now, what about it's not the right time? I need to ask my husband or wife, right? Let me think about it, right? No problem. Schedule a follow-up. You should always be scheduling follow-ups. Hey, no problem. Can I follow up with you, in a couple days? Next week, next month, whatever. Again, kind of weeding out, is this just an excuse? Right? So if they're just like, no, never, right? And now you're like, okay, well, that was just an excuse, right? You want to see, because go for no, right? You actually want to weed people out. The faster you can weed people out that you shouldn't be messing with, the faster you can get to somebody else who you should be working with, right? You want to get to that next person, okay? Now, you've gone through a couple objections, all right? And they just keep coming back, right? But what about this? But what about this? I don't know about that, right? So Remember that cynical part, right? Or just, you know what? Take it away. Never be afraid to take it away. Okay? We so many times we're afraid, right? Listen, you have something valuable. You have something that can help people. All right? There's that posture. Right? So this isn't just, hey, listen, if they don't see the value, fine, move on, right? So take it away. If you're constantly, right, just chasing, right, that's the annoying network marketer, right? This is the, no, listen, I have something of value. I know it, your belief, right? And if you have that posture, you can take it away. It's like, hey, you know what? I get it. Sounds like it's not right the time for you. Hey, this isn't for everybody, No problem. Mind if I follow up in a couple months? All right. Now, what if somebody is overly negative or mean, condescending, overly dramatic, right? Got the old Texas two-step for you, right? Step 1, turn around. Step 2, run, right? Be grateful, right? When somebody, in fact, if they were going to be overly negative or mean or dramatic, I actually want to know right away. Why? Be grateful, like, oh, I am so glad that they are not on my team. Do you want to deal with that in your business? Right? Deal with that person every day, right? Kind of with those indecisive people too, right? You've gone back and back and back. I don't know. It's not the right time. Following up is no problem, but it should just be, very like, okay, fine, no problem. Because at some point in time, those people that are really, really indecisive, okay? Now, if it's not the right time, which very common, that's different than indecisive. Okay, not the right time is, just not the right time in their life, or they have other things going on, they're involved, whatever. They might be involved in another business, who knows? Okay, but just like, I don't, just that, right? If they're just completely indecisive, then they're probably going to be that way, even if they eventually did join. Okay, so you've got through the questions, you've got through objections. Now we want to close them, right? But let me throw this out there. If you've encountered objections, it's going to be exceedingly rare that, you answer that objection, however you do, and then just go, you know what? You're right. Let's join, right? It's usually not going to go from objection to join, okay? Objection to questions to join, yes, but probably not objection to join. Answering objections, your goal is really to keep that conversation open, right? So you can follow up. You're giving them something to think on, right? Something to chew on in between that next follow-up. Because rarely, like on the spot, are they just going to go from, oh, I object to this to, oh, yeah, you're right. And they're just going to change your mind. Okay, so don't have that expectation. Have that, that perspective when there's objections that you're really just kind of, figuring out what that is and giving them something to think on, or getting to those questions behind the objections. Okay, so now, so you've done that and you've gone through the questions. They really don't have any more questions. All right, strangest thing, people want you to ask them to join. If you're just like, oh, you have any more questions? No, I guess you answered them all. And you're just kind of sitting there, okay, well, talk to you tomorrow. So, no, what's the closing question, statement? Well, sounds to me like you're ready to join, right? I mean, you've answered all their questions. What's next? Join, or, or buy the product, right? Hey, great. Sounds to me like you're ready to join. Sounds to me like you're ready to buy. There's only 2 answers to that question. Yes or no, right? Or not yet. Right? No, not yet. So, here's the thing. If it's yes, stop talking. Go immediately to signing them up or, getting them to purchase the product. All right? You don't need to sell anymore. Sometimes, people will get so excited, especially if they had a string of no's, right? You'd be like, oh my gosh, this is great. Oh, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. Oh, and I forgot to tell you about this. And all of a sudden, they're overwhelmed, right? No, immediately when they say yes, say, great, we can do it right now. Are you in front of your computer? Or, you might be together. Or, you can walk them through it right on the phone. If you're on Zoom, you can share screen and, get them signed up. Just stop talking. Once they say yes, stop talking. Your selling is done. You only have to sell, as much as you need to get the yes, right? Okay, what if they say no? Right? It's like, I've answered all the questions, right? Hey, you look confused, sound confused, or whatever, like, oh, really? Okay. Well, I guess, I mean, people typically join or buy, when they reach this point, So, make it sound strange. Like, why wouldn't you? Right? I mean, I've answered all your questions. There's nothing left to do. Like, why wouldn't you sign up or buy at this point, right? So make them feel like, well, that's what other people do. People like to do what other people do, right? So, okay, well, that's strange. It's just that, typically when I've reached this point with other people, they usually, sign up, right? And now, what can you do? Take it away. Hey, no problem at all. This isn't for everyone, all right? I've got other people I need to follow up with. Mind if I follow up with you in a couple months, right? Take it away, right? Make them think like, like, why am I not signing up, right? Make them sound like, well, other people, I mean, what does it take, right? And, at some point in time, you just, again, you want to get to, as soon as you can, right? What am I doing with this person? Because I've got the next person you go to, right? We're hanging on to people, right? Because we don't have that next person to talk to. So, I've got a double dog dare for you. You know what it is? I dare you to get 10 no's this week. All right? Go for no. All right? Thank you so much. I hope you got great value out of this. I hope that you will have amazing results. I have some notes, actually, that I'm going to post in the Telegram or the WhatsApp. It's going to be somewhere that you can go through and review. And remember, build that belief, okay, that unshakable belief, and just transfer that belief. All right? Thank you so much, and have a great day.